Game of Thrones Academy. This is a different kind of a Song of Ice and Fire YouTube channel. This is Itamar.
Hello.
He's a history teacher. He's a biblical studies teacher, also an amateur historian. I'm Gil, I'm a writer and blogger. We're going to talk about a Song of Ice and Fire, but look at it from a historical and political perspective, how it relates to real historical events, real people, real political processes. Like the simplest example we can give to show you what it means is that the whole story of a Song of Ice and Fire, it's set in the Middle Ages. So even though it's fantasy, it's set in a specific time and place, not in ancient Rome or ancient Greece or in the Renaissance or modern times. And today we're going to talk about religions. We know religion is a touchy subject, and if some of you believe in the faith of the seven, we know you wouldn't like us talking about the Dark Lord and the non-believers. And if you believe in the Lord of Light, please don't burn us for talking about other religions and the source of your religions.
We hope not offend any Lord of Lighters.
Okay. So there are many different religions in a Song of Ice and Fire. And do you see correlations between these religions and real religions that on Earth today or in ancient times?
Yes. We will always come back to our starting point, which is the 15th century AD in Europe, which is
Middle Ages.
We already established this is probably the starting point of the story. The civil war in Westeros, which correlates to the civil war in England, the War of the Roses.
Okay. So what do you see, for example, the faith? The faith of the seven.
The faith of the seven, it is known that even George R. R. Martin said it in a few interviews, that he based the faith of the seven on the Catholic Church.
Okay, how so?
It's very, very similar. First, we have an established church, which is not only a moral guide, but also has some sort of political power and with very religious times. All of the people are superstitious. Some kind of religion.
Westeros very superstitious. Everybody is superstitious in Westeros also.
Yeah, usually the small folks.
Right.
Very superstitious, very religious. The religiosity in the Middle Ages was very high. It was a very big component of your identity, your religious identity.
And also you have in the faith of the seven, in the establishment, you have like different religious orders. Like you have like monks, right, and priests.
And priests.
The guys that are walking and spreading the gospel.
And you have a military order as well, like the Catholic Church had the Templars.
The faith militant of the seven.
Like the Templars was established in the second or third Crusades. Later destroyed, never mind, but there are very similarities, and also the doctrine itself. When you look upon the face of the seven, and it's mentioned inside the book and inside the story a few times, they always say seven which are one. Which is very, very, very similar to the Holy Trinity. Because there are three, which is a three but one. And a three one, and George R. R. Martin and every Catholic former Catholic person said he always had a difficulty understanding this thing that it's three but it's one. It's seven but it's one. And also the three is a Father, a Son, and a Holy Ghost. And
so
the
Father
seven,
is the Father, right?
Yeah, and the seven you have like the archetypical Father, Mother, which is Mary, like the Holy Mary, the Mother of Christ,
Virgin Mary,
and the Crown, which is like the old wisdom archetype, old woman wisdom archetype, and the warrior, of course. And
so you have like seven different also you have like the other
and
like
the stranger, which is like the Holy Ghost. You can touch it, you can say it, you can
And you have the not the mason, like the builder, something that's also part of the seven.
The smith, yeah.
The smith.
Yeah.
So you have like different facets.
Different facets of a one God. Which every facet, like the Catholic saints, is like responsible to
different manifestation
like different kind of art or different kind of relationship or different kind of place in your family.
Right. So like I could pray only to my saint, my Catholic saint. Where
you're going to war,
qualities.
like you're going to war, you will sacrifice or whatever, or light incense or pray or to your saint.
Okay, not always to the one God.
No, this is new. Like praying to the God, to the
one God.
The one God, like I'm the person, and I have no mediator. I go straight to the God. This is new, like relatively new.
So we don't have this in the Middle Ages, the 15th century, where the story is basically set. We don't have a Catholic Church where one.
We have it's very similar. We have a religious establishment which acts not only as a moral guide, but also as an intermediate between the simple believer and the supreme God.
They have money.
And they have money, of course.
And extravagant churches.
They have territory, their own territory, and a pope, like the High Septon.
High Septon, that's very important. Okay, so
which the king in Westeros relies on the Septon, the High Septon, to coronate him.
Right.
It's very, very similar to the Middle Ages king, who drew his supposedly or ostensibly drew his power to legitimacy to power from the religion, and he got his blessing for the Pope.
Okay, so there's a power struggle also in Westeros, and there was back then in Europe, and this brings me to the faith militant and the moral sayings.
There are some in the Middle Ages time. There are a few instances which you can see a power struggle between the church, which truly considered herself the spoker of God, and the secular authority, who said, okay, this is your, like Jesus said, have the emperor have the emperor stuff, and God has his God stuff. You know, I know it in Hebrew and not.
So
give the emperor which is his, and give like a separation, like a
like different roles.
Conceptually, a separation between church and state. But during the Middle Ages, you had a lot of struggles between them. So you can see maybe the faith militant as an example.
Also between the Targaryen kings and the faith of the Seven, they had clashes. Until the king has abolished the faith militant. But okay, so this brings me something that came to my mind when I read A Feast for Crows, that the new High Septon, the way in which he's such a religious zealot, and he has this fetish about modesty and sex and stuff like that, was very similar in my eyes to the way someone from the Middle Ages, a pope, could be religiously zealot.
There were examples. I almost said our pope, but the contemporary, like our times pope, okay, not my pope, but our times pope, Franciscus I, the first one who named himself after Saint Francis, who is the patron of the poor, who is a real character, a real historical character from the 13th century, who saw all the corruption and the decadence of the Catholic Church of his time, and the Christianity as a whole as his time. We saw how rulers are not exactly Christians, because Christian, I don't know if people know, but Christian is a peaceful religion, and you can't say about the Middle Ages. You can't say it was peaceful time, but it was very Christian time.
So the High Spirit is also
very similar to the Saint Francis. He was a nobleman, I think. Saint Francis, who went to the poor. He read something not a lot of people did back then, but he read the scripture.
Read them out loud or read them?
Read them for himself with no intermediate, and he noticed that Jesus promoted poverty. He was for the poor.
Like a rich man has a better chance to pass through the eye of a needle than
a camel has a better chance. Passing through an eye of a needle than a rich man who go to heaven.
To heaven.
And so he noticed what's going on. And
so did you have back then in the 15th century? Did you have like zealots who were obsessed about sex, people not having sex outside marriage, and other moral virtues or virtues without quotations? Did that exist? Francis, he was also obsessed about modesty and sex, like we see the High Sparrow.
I guess
Cersei,
so.
Marjorie.
I guess so, because to be pure in medieval Christianity means being pure with everything regarding to your body. I mean, and sex is dirty.
Right.
So that's why
Christian,
one of the reason why religious clerks and bishops and monks, they celibate.
And it's the same in the seven, right? They have families and they're married
no,
with kids?
no. The seven, if you are in the Silent Sisters,
Right.
like the nuns.
The nuns. Also, you have like you
have the monks, and you have I think you have monks, and you have the priests.
Monks,
they have celibacy.
Okay. So okay, this is about the seven. It's very interesting. But let's move on. Let's move on to the Lord of Light and the Dark Lord.
Mm.
Do you see something there in history?
This is pretty clear. It's also a mixture, but I think it's mainly based on the Zoroastrianism religion.
What is that?
It's
it?
an ancient.
When is that? Okay.
It's an ancient come from a person named Zoroaster.
Where was that?
In Persia, it's a Persian religion.
Okay.
It's an ancient religion. It still exists in some part in India, not in Persia,
Okay.
not in Iran. It's it was very big religion.
Okay,
Before Islam was very big religion.
Why do you think it's similar?
It's almost exactly the same.
Okay,
First of all, it's a dualistic religion,
Light,
which means
dark.
light, dark, good, evil.
Okay.
Anyway,
No,
it's a dualistic.
So you have light and dark.
You have light
heat,
and dark,
heat and cold.
and the name of the God of the Creator God and the good God in Zoroastrianism is very interesting. His name is Ahura Mazda, which very similar to Azura High. Ahura Mazda.
Okay. Let's go to the old gods. The old gods of the north and beyond the wall. Do you see any connection here?
Yeah, the old gods are like, if you make a history about religion and you want to choose some sort of development phase in a religion, you call it an animism religion, which means the world surrounds you, is very beautiful and it's very majestic and it's godly-like.
Nature.
It's one phase before paganism, like you say, the sun is a person. Okay. Let's say Apollo or whatever, and the Thor, the how do you call it?
Thor, lightning and thunder.
And thunders, yeah, lightning and thunder, how personified as gods. But animism religion don't personify the god, but categorize the nature as gods themselves. Let's say,
like the tree.
It says of a river god, the river is God. Is a god.
So it's
instead
like
of trees.
The trees in the north.
In the north, the trees are not the tree god, but trees are gods themselves.
Forgot the name of the trees.
Weirwood trees, yeah, weirwood trees. Weirwood trees, yeah,
weirwood trees
are gods by themselves.
Right.
And also they're very naturalistic. Let's say if the children of the forest, like they were born from the forest. And
they're part of nature. They are nature.
They are nature. They are
like
part
Bran
of nature.
now is connected
exactly,
to
Bran now is
to
connected.
The tree.
Yeah,
but also something that works to your point. That's like an ancient religion that has been drawn back and is on his way down and will soon be extinguished.
Yeah,
the children of the forest.
If you want to romanticize a lot of our history, then and a lot of people do. They say, let's compare it to the books. So, let's say human beings were once one with the nature. And then what happened? Happened some sort of a breach of agreement between us and nature, which was...
Or God in the... in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, let's say in our mythology, our own mythology, the Judeo-Christian mythology, we broke the agreement by eating the forbidden fruit, and then we were expelled from heaven. We were expelled from the creation. We were expelled from the gods.
Okay.
And so, if you romanticize it, you can say the true human condition is worshiping nature and not worshiping technology or worshiping something outside of nature. which are these are new gods. Our new gods are, let's say, the Judeo-Christian God is outside of nature.
Right. So you worship science.
I fucking love science. Yeah.
How much do you love
I
science?
fucking love science. Yeah.
I know.
I don't worship science. I love it.
I have an ambivalent relationship towards science and think we're all soon gonna die. Anyways.
Yeah, we're all gonna die. But
anyways,
maybe.
Bravos. What about Bravos? Do you see any kind? There are many religions.
Yeah,
religions
Bravos
there.
has no religion by itself, but because it's a very cosmopolitan place, it has a lot of religions, a lot of
And
gods.
some of them are similar. Do you think?
I think all
Similar
of
to real religions.
like what I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe the faceless men. Do you see something?
Yeah, the
in that?
faceless man. We can make an episode by itself because
So just say
there is historical parallels to the faceless man. It not necessarily relates to religion. We're talking about the assassin's cult.
Okay.
But that's
It's
something
interesting.
else.
It's interesting.
There's assassin cult.
What about the gods of Geese on top of the pyramids, the harpies? Do you
It
see-
was just reminds me of like the Sphinx and of ancient Greek, of ancient Egypt.
But we don't know a lot
We don't know a lot about
the religious practices.
We don't know a lot about the Valyrian gods, which is also very interesting because our sense of Valyria is maybe they didn't took religion so seriously.
Maybe they were with the Lord of Light. I think that too much digging, too much light, too much heat brought the world to an
Maybe,
end.
but we
And
know
now
they
we
had
have,
gods.
like,
No, they had gods. They named the dragons after the gods. So we know they had gods.
Okay.
But maybe we don't know a lot about
What about
the
Rome?
religions.
Did we know a lot? Do we know a lot?
Romans didn't took their religion seriously.
So that's another
That's
similarity.
another similarity.
Also for our
But
episode,
I suspect, I don't know. Maybe Valyrians took their religion very seriously.
No, but the way that George R. R. Martin tells his story, you see a correlation, another correlation between
But
Valyria
yeah, we
and
can
Rome.
suspect. Maybe we can suspect they didn't took their religion so seriously because when Aegon the Conqueror conquered Westeros, he didn't,
He left the seven over
he
there.
left the seven. Yeah, okay, bring me your religion. He saw religion. I guess he saw it as a tool to connect people,
Oh.
as a ruling tool,
Okay,
not as a principle in itself.
So something else I want to add, I almost forgot that we talked about, that the only religion that has a moral saying is the faith
Is
of
the
the seven.
faith.
And the other,
Which we know about.
yeah, they don't have like, do this, don't do this,
Yeah.
this is good, this is not good. You have to obey the Lord, you have to obey the priest, you have to do what he says, but you don't have to be kind to your father and your mother. You can have sex with your brother and sister.
You're talking about the red god.
I'm saying all the other gods, the only religion that says you have
Something
to be
more,
kind
yeah. You have to be
is
kind,
the
you have to be
faith.
generous, yeah.
is
You
the
have to be
faith.
modest.
But the faith of the seven is ironically the only religion that is totally made up.
Yeah.
It has no power whatsoever. Everything is bogus. The Lord of Light, the Lord of Dark. We know that the faithless men, they have their powers. We know that the
Children of the Forest
have their power. And the only religion that is made up is Christianity. Sorry, the faith of the seven. Sorry, the faith of the seven. Slip of the tongue. Anyways, let's go to Itamar's bold predictions. What is your prediction on something that for sure 100% will happen in the two next books, and you are willing to sign on it and mortgage your house on that
I
prediction?
already mortgaged my house for this specific
For this prediction, yeah, go ahead.
So not only subscribe, give me some money. Okay, so before a little background.
Before your bold prediction.
Before my board prediction. Okay. So if we establish that our story, George R. R. Martin's story, is late 15th century.
Okay.
In our history,
in world. Okay.
we know in 50 years' time or something like that, there will be a major religious shift.
What happened at 50 years' time in the real world?
In the real world, in 1517, a young Catholic priest named Martin Luther, came down the 95 theses against the church, against the Pope.
And that was the Reformation.
And that was the Reformation, which is practically a new religion, a new Christianity. A new Christianity, which is the main issue there is destroying or making obsolete the mediators between yourself, the believer, and God.
And we said that the faith of the seven, the establishment, is like the Catholic Church. So you're saying someone or something will come in and break their monopoly.
A new idea, or maybe an old idea, brought up in a new way.
Like the Lord of Light?
Like maybe, I don't know. I recognize the theme. I recognize a theme.
Okay.
Which
so it will split.
Maybe a split, maybe a loss, maybe something new, a new religion, or maybe some kind of agreement between two religions, or maybe some kind of a religion freedom or separation between church and state, which is the final result of the religious war in Europe.
I don't see it playing it out in the books. I think my bold prediction is that the faith will win. The new king or whatever have to in some way incorporate the faith, and the faith would have you won't see any foreign religions there. The Lord of Light and the Dark Lord, they won't have any strong manifestations. They won't conquer Westeros. That's my prediction.
English people are Catholic today.
Yes, they are. Every one of them Catholic. They're not?
No, they're not. They have a new religion, which broke from the Catholic religion.
But I think I'm saying that it will. It won't play out in the books because it might happen in another series. But in the two books that are left, I don't see it. Like from a literature standpoint, from a plot standpoint, I think it will be too complex to add another theme of the faith splitting up to two different religions. I think it's just too many things happening in two books. I think it's too major of a cataclysm in the faith. It could be interesting though.
Yeah, but maybe we will notice the roots. So maybe we are caught up in the start of the fall of the faith or religion in a whole.
Yeah, but it's on the rise everywhere. Like the children of the forest waking up, the Lord of Light getting stronger, the faith getting stronger.
Like in Europe, after the Reformation in Europe, you have religious war. And you have much more big religiosity. You have something like maybe 100 years of war between Europeans.
So maybe that should be maybe your bold prediction. That's religious war.
Religious war. Maybe
between the Lord of Light and the faith.
Maybe, yeah.
Like manifested by dragons. Okay. So let's sum up. We talked about the different religions in Westeros and how they connect and how they are inspired by real religions, like the faith and the old gods and the Dark Lord and stuff like that. We encourage you to comment, say what you think. If you agree with Itamar's bold prediction, maybe you agree with my prediction. My prediction is way better. No, you don't think so? Anyways, we'll have a new video soon, and we hope you like it, and we hope you'll subscribe to get the next videos. Bye.
Bye.